Okay, so today we're going to look at the Dreamer by Jenx. The Dreamer is a nighttime support system. Having said that, it can be used throughout the day if needs be. So we're going to start from the base here, looking at the lying surface, and then work our way up just to show exactly what the Dreamer can do. The Dreamer's been designed to be as simple and intuitive to use as possible. We appreciate that the Dreamer is going to be used potentially overnight and during those waking hours, 2-3 a.m. We wanted this to be really simple to use so that you didn't have to fully wake up to be able to make adjustments to try and keep sleep disruption for the whole family to an absolute minimum. So starting on the base, if we look underneath the Dreamer, we'll see that we have a lightweight metal base which is flexible. This allows us to use the whole support system on a profiling bed. So if we do need to give any head elevation or leg elevation at any time during the day or night, we're able to do so. It's quick, it's simple and easy, and we can do it without needing to take any support structure away. So when we put the support pads in place, they will move with that system as well. On top of the metal base, we have these individual mattress sections. I'm going to refer to these as mattress cells. And basically what we've done here is taken a full depth pressure distributing mattress and chopped it up into these individual components. Now each of these components has its own individual cover, and if we just remove one of the covers here, we can see that this acts just like a standard toweling sheet that we would use on a conventional bed, and then we simply pop back into place when we're ready to. The material underneath is a breathable yet water resistant fabric, so we're taking very seriously here clients who have continence issues, so we want to make sure that the system is very easy to keep clean and reduce any associated hygiene risks. The mattress cells themselves have an egg box structure on top covered by the material, which aids with the pressure distribution qualities, and because each of these is an individual cell, when we apply pressure down through an individual section, we don't get a sag as you would get on a normal mattress. So in terms of offering really good pressure distribution, we're able to do so with these individual components. I'd actually refer to these as little shock absorbers, so they actually take away any pressure, but the maintaining areas give support. So one of the things that parents really like about these individual sections is that if for any reason you need to make any replacements throughout the night, so for example you have a child who vomits or, like I said before, has continence issues, it's really quick and simple to make that adjustment without needing to take the individual out of bed to strip a whole sheet. So whilst it might look daunting come laundry day to have 17 individual sheets, actually on the whole you only need to change those that have been soiled or affected. Again, because those sections compress down individually, it's very easy, even with a fully grown adult lying on the system, to remove a section and put a fresh sheet underneath when somebody's still lying on the bed. So we want to make sure that the whole family gets a good night's sleep. So you'll notice that every adjustment that's done is silent, there's no loud Velcro noises, it's very intuitive. And when we look at those support systems, we'll see that everything sits on top of this section. So some of the other sleep systems that are available on the market, you lie within the system, they almost act like a cocoon around you. The whole idea with Dreamer is that we start with the solid base and then we work our way up and look at the support platforms, and we found that that keeps increased heat to a minimum. So obviously the concern, particularly in warmer climates with any sleep system, is that you're potentially cocooning somebody within the system, which could lead to an elevated body temperature. With Dreamer, we get really good airflow, particularly with these individual sections. This allows for good airflow throughout the system as well. And like I say, because you're not lying in a cocoon, it just reduces that overnight risk of core body temperature rising. So we've talked about the merits of the base of the Dreamer sleep system, and now we're going to look at actually how we support the children and young adults whilst they're lying on the product. So we want to be able to support somebody in such a way that the abnormal tone which is causing them to need a sleep system is supported throughout the night. So One of the key things about 24-hour postural management is the fact that that abnormal tone which causes the individual to need to use a sleep system is present 24/7. It doesn't go away whilst they're sleeping. So we want to be able to hold somebody in a nice, firm, yet comfortable and safe position. So to do that, we use a number of different support structures, and we're now going to look at some of the most common ones, the majority of which being the support pad. So these come in different sizes, which we'll have a look at in a minute, but this is the large, so we'll start off looking at how this interacts with the base. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, we don't Velcro any components onto the top here. We want a nice firm fixing that if you have that increased tone, doesn't push the support block out of the way. So if we look at the block, if we look at the section here in grey, this is a polyurethane material. So it's a foam that self-skins. So again, in terms of hygiene and cleanliness, it's a surface that's very easy to wipe clean. So it doesn't matter how heavily soiled this might become, very, very easy to remove that soiling and have a nice clean surface to use. This can be used either with or without a cover. The cover's made of the same material as the sleep system itself, but for the purpose of this video, we're going to show it without the cover, just so it's easier to see against the top section there. Coming away from the support structure is this white foot, and this is what gives us that secure base that keeps us very firmly locked in place. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this into the system. We're going to find that metal base which everything's sat on top of, and anywhere that you see a slot section in the mattress is where we're able to put the support pad into. And then if I want to push the support pad forward, so imagine we're pushing this up against the body, just tilt this backwards and push forward. The second I release, that naturally settles into place, and most people think, well, that's not going to hold somebody in place. But if I now start applying pressure through the pad, you can see that that's actually not going to move place. But if I'm the carer or parent and I want to come in and move this out of the way so I can change position, or maybe come in and meet a hygiene need in the night, I just simply tilt the block forward and slide backwards. So it really is that simple, that quick, and that quiet. So again, thinking of 2-3 o'clock in the morning, we don't have big loud noises that could disrupt the rest of the family from their sleep. So again, coming in and then coming out, but being very, very strong when we release. So it's not going to push out of the way. So no matter how increased that tone is, how much of a push we've got, we're not going to lose that pad. Now the small, medium, large and extra large all come on the foot that allows us to lift the pad and actually get rotation as well. So it doesn't matter whether we're dealing with a symmetrical or non-symmetrical body shape, or wherever we're trying to position somebody, we're able to do so just by lifting and rotating, and then that locks down into place and we have a nice firm fixture. And again, just very simple to move that out of the way. One of the nice things about being able to move the pads in and out so easily is that we find that with a lot of children, going straight into a corrected position actually doesn't encourage them to go to sleep. So what we're able to do here is lie the child or the young person on the bed, allow them to have that wriggle time, settle naturally, and then once they're asleep, you're able to come in and put those support pads into place. So again, really nice, quick and simple, intuitive. The great thing about everything being on top of the mattress is that it's very easy to see. So if you're in an area where you maybe have carers who come in and help, or multiple care staff, it's really quick and easy to see where every single support pad should go. You're not underneath the sheet trying to figure out where the support pads go. And as I said before, when we look at that contour base, you'll see the pad moves freely with the base. It doesn't ping off, there's no Velcro that's going to go anywhere. So it is that really nice, firm, simple to adjust solution. So we focused just on the large pad, but just to show you the different variety of sizes that there are, you have a small, medium, large and extra large, and those all work in exactly the same way as the large with the ability to rotate. We also have the slimline. Now the slimline doesn't have the ability to rotate, but where we use this one tends to be in the trunk where we're supporting close up under the armpit, and what we want is a nice slimline pad that allows the arm to naturally rest down rather than having a larger support pad in place. So the small, medium, large and extra large, we're going to potentially use these around the pelvis, maybe lower in the trunk and throughout the legs to offer that support and positioning that we want to achieve. And then, like I say, the slimline, we tend to use those more in the trunk area. And because again, we've got these slots, if you have somebody who leans more to one side than another, we can use these asymmetrically to help hold that body posture where we want to. We mentioned earlier as well the possibility of having the covers that go onto here. Just to show what one of those would look like, we'll put one here onto the slimline pad. Now obviously these pads do need to be relatively firm, else they're not going to hold you in place. If you are worried that these are too firm or that potentially you're going to have any pressure issues, then there is a memory foam pad that can go against the face of these where you're making point of contact, which makes these very, very soft. And this pad here actually has some of that foam in it, so we can see that we get some really good compression here, so we can come up against the rib cage and support accordingly. So earlier in the video we looked at the support structures that we might use in the trunk, the pelvis and on the outside of the legs, but now let's look at how we can maybe offer more support to the legs that need a little bit more guidance in positioning. So here we have an abduction block. These come in a variety of different sizes depending on how big the child or young adult is and what exactly it is we're trying to achieve. So obviously we know that there's lots of clinical benefits to sleeping with an abducted posture in terms of hip maintenance. So as with the other support pads, these just simply slide in and we're able to position exactly where we need to on the bed. And as I say, different size blocks with different levels of abduction for keeping those legs in a nice neutral or slightly abducted position from a clinical point of view. But again, very, very easy to move in and out when we've got somebody laying in the bed. So the accessory that we're looking at here is the height adjustable T-roll. So we're going to be using this between the child or young adult's knees to accommodate fixed knee flexion. So where we can't get those legs straight down on the bed, what we don't want is a big gap behind the knee, and we don't want those legs drifting off to the side because we know that's going to be bad for the pelvis. So what we're able to do with the height adjustable T-roll is come in underneath those knees and offer a nice comfortable padded support surface. So we've got some nice deep padding here, particularly relevant if we've got somebody with tight hamstrings where we want to make sure that they're lying in a comfortable position. And then we have a nice padded strap which comes over the top to hold that knee in place. And then we have the big central column which stops those knees drifting together. So the first thing to point out here is that for ease of getting this in and out, this central column removes. So if we've got somebody lay down on the bed, it's very easy for us to push this underneath their knees and then put the column back in once they're laid down. So it makes it very, very easy for taking this feature in and out. Sometimes you might find with children, adults using the bed, that if you need to change a continence product throughout the night, that potentially this could be an obstruction to coming in and doing that in a safe and dignified manner. So we're able to take this out of the way very easily so we can meet those hygiene needs and again reduce the amount of disturbance to everyone's sleep because it's so simple to use. We can see here that on this side we have these build-up blocks underneath, so if we had somebody who had significant knee flexion, we're able to accommodate that throughout the different heights, or if we've got somebody who's just got some partial knee flexion and we need to be able to support, we can just use the standard pad here and we can see that we have the 3 individual sections that allow us to build up at stepped increments. And as with all the other support pads on the Dreamer, this just simply fits in so that metal track underneath. And then self-locks into place. And again, removable covers from a hygiene and cleanliness point of view.